Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. Is Golan F. Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock. Gentlemen, we're not going to waste any time. We're going to start it off with NXT week one of the Great American Bash held at the CWC, the Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida last night. And we started off, with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships of the World on the line. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn putting the titles on the line against Metaphors, Lash Legend, and Jakara Jackson. And when it was all said and done, winners of the bout, 9 minutes and 56 seconds, and still the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions of the World, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, the Unholy Alliance, still the tag champions. Solid opener. First time in a long time for Isla Dawn and Alba to come back to NXT and to take on a pretty good Metaphor team of Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend. And it was a fine match. I thought this was a very good championship bout. I could give this about 3 to 3.25 stars. I thought the action was fine for what it was worth, but at the end of the day, the decision was the right decision. The champions remain the champions, and Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Well, I'll tell you, MF, even with an unfortunate commercial break when the match was growing strong, this was one of the best women's tag team matches this year. Serious credit on that goes to the tag team champions. It is a shame that WWE does not seem interested in booking the Unholy Union often, because Fire and Dawn are a genuinely great tag team. This was showcased in their consistent double team offense as well as great team psychology throughout, selling the challengers as the rising baby faces. Legend and Jackson looked solid overall. Legend especially showed out while Jackson got a little sloppy late, likely due to a lack of experience. So I'm not going to do any of my thoughts because, I want to make sure that this show moves in a timely fashion here. So we want to give the people as much content and the whole nine. So I'm just going to park it there. 3 to 3.25 stars. I 100% agree with your rating, MF. So Mr. NXT, Phenom, Michael Bullock, come on in and let's get your thoughts on this WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. No big surprise with the outcome. But hey, Jackson and Legend, man, they held their own. But now it's Fire and Dawn on the SmackDown Friday night. The return match against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
Yeah, 3.25. I'm with you. This was a solid start to week number one of the Great American Bash. And yeah, give Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson credit. They hung in there tough with the Fire and Dawn, but at the end of the day, the champions stay the champions, which is the right call. And now it's onward to SmackDown, where they have a date with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, 3.25. So let's move on, Fletch.
All right, guys. I was just trying to do something really quick to try to figure something out, because it was Tony D'Angelo versus Tavion Heights for the right for the Heritage Cup. I'm trying to do the math here, guys, so that's why I'm trying to figure it out, but it's roughly about 8 minutes. It looks like it's 8 minutes and 6 seconds. And still, the possessor of the Heritage Cup, Tony D'Angelo, Anthony Florio, it is all yours. Tony D.
2.5 to 2.75
the
of a
Heritage
star.
Cup.
Yes, thank you for that. 2.5, 2.75 of a star for this. This was a showcase match for Tavion Heights, who looked better than he ever has. Tony D'Angelo let him shine through the first 2 rounds before the dramatics began. It could have used a little more time, but it was good for the time it got. When NXT 2.0 first arrived, 4 men were declared as the leaders of the brand. D'Angelo is the last man standing on the gold brand, and it shows in his experience edge over most of his peers. NXT is in a different era, and it is time for Tony D'Angelo to get his main roster call-up opportunity. Give him at least the Braun Breaker or Carmelo Hayes treatment, working the occasional match on Raw or SmackDown. 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. And Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 2.5, 2 3/4. Yeah, I mean, this was the right outcome, and I agree with everything Florio said. I mean, with Tony D'Angelo, I mean, but there comes a point in time he will get called. I just don't know when that will be the case, but this was definitely the right call here. So yeah, so there's nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
All right, I just wanted to make a quick correction here. 8 minutes, 32 seconds, the time of the fall. 8:32, the official time. This is about, I would say about 3 for me. It was a fine match. Yes, first 2 rounds went the distance with no scoring. Round 3, a quick pinfall. Round 4 was a quick pinfall, and then round 5 was the ender, and Tony D'Angelo winning it in round number 5 in about 1:39 in. So yeah, this was a solid match. Really nothing more to add there. And now we go Xander winning the match in 5 minutes and 1 second. Michael Bullock, it is all yours.
What were we talking about here, Fletch? You were cutting in and out.
Brooks Jensen versus Cedric Alexander, and Cedric winning in 5:01.
All right. Yeah, thank you for that. This was too short of a match here, and obviously, I mean, Brooks Jensen is his start under the tutelage of Sean Spears hasn't gone. It didn't go well for him here, and yeah, nice win for Cedric Alexander. But now the question is, what's next for Brooks Jensen? We'll have to wait and see. But I can only give this 1.5, so it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I'll go about 1.5 too. I thought they did a fine job with it. So nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
2.5. There was not a result for this match that could help everyone. Cedric Alexander needed a win after a big loss last week, and Brooks Jensen needed a win to keep his momentum going. Alexander won out, which was likely the right move. The veteran cruiserweight needs some credibility. This win sets up a likely battle with the chairman Sean Spears sooner than later, continuing to establish Alexander on this roster.
Florio?
Well, his microphone is on. It's
Yeah,
I don't know if
I don't
something
hear
happened
him.
on his end.
Yeah, probably because I don't hear him. Oh, I thought I just heard him a second ago.
Can you hear me?
All right.
Yeah, now we can hear
All right,
him.
we got you, man.
Okay. Yep. 2.5 stars for the match. So, MF, let's move on to our next. And now we're moving on to something that.
Well, before we get there was something that needs to be addressed. For the first time ever in NXT, the Rascal brought the treehouse. Yo,
Oh.
Michael Bullock, your worst nightmare came true, bro. The treehouse segment brought. This is what we knew about the treehouse. This was the shenanigans me and my Anthony Florio were telling you about the treehouse.
Yeah, you were telling me about it, and well, we finally got to see it.
And
What'd you think?
Well, I mean, Well, it's kind of what we. I mean, you guys told me about it. It's everything what I expected out of this when it comes to this. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much all I'm going to say on it. I mean, you guys know a lot more, but I'll just say I thought it was good for the first time being on NXT. So I'll tell you what, maybe
like,
I hope we do get more of this.
I kind of feel like it was a little tamer, Anthony. I don't think he really got the true Treehouse experience yet.
Oh no,
I think that was somewhat of a cleaner version of the Treehouse.
Yes, it was.
Well, like I said, this is the first time that they're doing on NXT, so maybe they wanted to tone it down a little bit.
And remember, we're technically still PG right now.
Yeah, we're still technically in the PG era, but I will say this:
that's probably the reason why.
If that Treehouse is on CW when it comes in the fall, I think they might be able to get away with a little more shenanigans more than anything else. But
let's just say there was a lot of smoke, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Oh yeah.
It was like it was basically like the Summer
That 70s show.
Yes.
That 70s show in the smoke.
The infamous circle. The infamous circle. Yeah.
All right.
If you know what I mean.
So, yeah, I know what you mean. We don't need to say that was out loud on
and I know that was an experience for Bullock.
Oh,
I mean,
don't go there.
It was fun. Yeah, this was fun. No doubt about it. I mean, exactly what it is in TNA. Only difference is much tamer, much cleaner, PG.
Yep.
So that's really all there is to say on it. And now we're moving on to a segment that Michael Bullock was looking forward to. I mean, we were all looking forward to it. Don't get us wrong, but Michael Bullock especially.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of first times. Okay.
It was the Joe Hendry concert. Yep. It was the Joe Hendry concert. This was the long awaited. Everybody wanted it. And we saw it. And he did not hold back on and he went after practically a good amount of people. He went after, obviously, Gallus was in his crosshairs. Obviously, he did take a little bit of a shot at Shawn Michaels. Mocked him a little bit. So he did that. And he did a remix version, added Chef Shawn Michaels to it, which, also mocked Booker T, which was, well, I guess we know how that goes. Booker T wasn't too happy. Oh, well. But unfortunately, the party was crashed by Gallus and left Joe Hendry in a heap. All right. If you were looking for the highlight of the night, this was it. Non-wrestling segment of the night. We knew this was going to be awesome. You knew you were going to love it. And they gave us what we wanted. Joe Hendry doing his thing, killing it on the guitar. I love the jokes. I love the rip on the Chef Shawn Michaels. I love that he went after Booker T because Booker T's been going after him too. Let's be realistic. Call a spade a spade. And then the thing with Gallus, you knew that was coming. We all knew that was coming. And then the subsequent little beatdown, we knew that was coming. Unfortunately for Joe Hendry, he ended up getting left in a heap. And Gallus stood tall at the end of this segment. So it was expected. It was exactly what it needed it to be. The fans believed. We all believed it was exactly what we were expecting it to be. Anthony gave us kind of the prelude, what this was going to be about, and it got delivered hook, line, and sinker, as we would say. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Yes, indeed. Joe Hendry sang about how much he makes NXT better while teasing Booker T and Shawn Michaels. Finally, he claimed Gallus got, quote-unquote, deported for having awful facial hair. When he prepared to sing his theme, Gallus interrupted, and they battered Joe Hendry and hit him in the back with his guitar. As far as Joe Hendry concerts go, I'll be honest with you, this was not his best song, but it was a fun start to the full experience of the Scotsman. The crowd was all in on supporting Hendry through it all. Gallus getting the first crack at Henry was a smart way to keep them relevant after some tough losses. The group has done the most working with the incoming TNA talent of anyone, and the stage is set for what may be the most anticipated match of Joe Henry's NXT career. Now, only when I feel it's necessary, I'm going to bring in some brief afterthoughts on this. Joe Henry continued to create believers backstage ahead of his concert. The crowd was loudest of the night when booing Gallus interrupting the concert. On his way out of the building, Joe Henry called out Joe Coffey for a one-on-one match next week. And get this, we're going to get it. It will be Joe Henry versus Joe Coffey, a battle of the Joes. So Henry versus Coffey, battle of the Joes. Week 2, Great American Bash, Tuesday night on Sci-Fi. So, yeah. Of course, the work he did in TNA. Of course, the song he did for with Brian Myers, calling him Edge's You Know What. And then back in May when he went after AJ Francis. So, yeah. I mean, those were epic. It was good, but, you know, could have been a little bit better, if I'm being honest. But it was still enjoyable, though. Still fun. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, here you go. Your first glimpse of a Joe Henry concert. I gave you a little sampler from TNA. You got to see it last night. What'd you think?
I love it. I mean, yes, there could have been more, but I enjoyed it. I mean, basically going after everyone. I mean, especially the Gallus boys. And Gallus, like you said, they heard enough, and just a flat out disrespect by Gallus. I mean, we were expecting an encore, and you three clowns want to ruin it by smashing a guitar right on his back. And then I saw on Instagram that Joe Coffey decided to do a little singing of his own. Well, I'm here to tell you this, Joe Coffey. Joe Henry sings a lot better than you or any of your other boys. And I know somewhere Fletch was probably like, because remember, Gallus is his boys, and he's probably like,
hey, you want it? Yeah, you wanted an encore? There's your encore.
Fletcher.
Hey, that's what I said last night on the telecast.
Like, you're probably like, that punk kid got exactly what he deserved.
Well, I didn't say that, but
well,
I did,
in your mind, you were thinking that.
Well, no, because I also am a fan of Joe Henry. But as far as the commentary goes, basically, I did say, if you wanted an encore, there's your encore, and I love it.
And that's what Booker T said.
Yep. So, hey, yeah, I would just you basically gave me the opening, Bullock. You kind of opened the door.
I gave you the ammo.
Walk right in. You gave me the ammo.
I gave you the ammo.
Yep. You can't be mad at that.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, yeah. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, if you don't got anything to say, I say we just move on.
Yeah. No. I think what we said is what I kind of said is that I agree with Anthony Florio. It kind of felt watered down. This probably was a PG version of the Joe Henry concert because Anthony knows it better than anybody else. Joe Henry could really, really, really roast somebody on the mic if he really wanted to. I seen him do it on ICW. I seen him do it at WCCW, which is What Culture Championship Wrestling, which is up in, I think it was in Ireland or Scotland, somewhere in that area. That was like YouTube based. So we had that. We had the ICW where he did a lot of roasting. Of course, Impact Wrestling or TNA. He's done a few concerts that's been epic. And this was good. Like Anthony Florio said, it was good, but it wasn't the ultimate payoff that we were looking for. Hey, I'm not mad. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. I was laughing my freaking ass off quite a few times during it last night. So yeah, I mean they did good. He did good. All right, next up, women's match Kendall Gray with Kylie Bright in her corner went up against Jada Parker. Jada Parker, Miss Parker, is she a nasty? Wins the match in 4 minutes and 3 seconds. I'm not gonna talk. I don't think we. I'm not gonna force the fellas to talk about this match. They don't really need to talk about it. It was more of a showcase fight for Jada Parker. It was a nice win. We'll leave it at that. Now, this we're going to get into. 6 women tag team match. Fallon Henley, Jasmine Nix, and JC Jane versus Carmen Petrovic, Sol Ruca, and Lola Vice. And it was the heel squad. Fallon Henley, Jasmine Nix, and JC Jane winning the match. 12 minutes, 57 seconds. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Sleeper fight of the night here. I mean, you know, as we always say with matches that we didn't expect to be anything good, far more entertaining than it had any right to be. I mean, I honestly didn't really have any high hopes for this match. I thought 2.5 at best, but no, I'm giving this thing 3.5 stars, man. While Lola Vice, Sol Ruca, and Carmen Petrovic worked well together, Fallon Henley, JC Jane, and Jasmine Nix just looked more cohesive. This was a showcase of the present and future of NXT's women's division. Everyone got time to shine, and the right team won after taking some tough losses. In many ways, this over-delivered. The cohesion of the teams was impressive. Sol Ruca remains an inconsistent highlight reel performer that hits more than she misses. Lola Vice has found her footing fully as a top woman. Carmen Petrovic showed out through hard work. Fallon Henley and JC James showed all their tag team experience by guiding this match through some great sequences. Jasmine Nix, though, may have been the biggest surprise, showing out with an obvious stumble and wild action. The heels finally picked up a win together, and this should be the beginning of something more. The chemistry of these 3 in the ring should elevate them all with good booking. And that's really all there is to say on this. So sleeper fight of the night for me, far better than it had any right to be. 3.5 stars. Incredible match. Very good fight. Second best fight of the night. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, color me surprised. I didn't really have any high hopes for this. I was thinking like 2.5 or so at best. I never thought I'd be giving this match 3.5. Almost 3 3/4, but more 3.5.
Yeah, going into this, I was thinking maybe 2.5 as well, but this really over delivered, and I'll give this 3.5 as well. And yeah, the women definitely delivered, and yeah, and this new trio, I mean, all I can say is they're definitely putting NXT on notice here, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. So nothing more to say. It's your Sledge.
Incredible match, 3.5 stars. Yes, sleeper fight of the night. I don't think there's much argument on that. It was a great battle. Right person, right team won, though. I'll give it that. And it led to the main event of the Great American Bash Week 1, as it was Roxanne Perez putting the NXT Women's title on the line against Thea Hale. Winner of the bout, 11 minutes and 21 seconds, and still NXT Women's Champion, the Prodigy, Roxanne Perez. Michael Bullock, a hell of a performance by Thea Hale. She could hold her head high, but at the end of the night, Roxanne Perez successfully defends the championship again. The champion remains the champion.
Yeah, like you said, a valiant effort by Thea Hale, and she gave Roxanne all she could handle, but at the end of the day, the champion remains. The champion remains the champion, and yeah, I mean, when people heard of this being the main event, I'm sure there was probably some people that were like thinking, could they actually do it? But I knew in my thoughts that Roxanne was going to retain, but Fletch, I mean, I saw something on Instagram that on the NXT Instagram when they talked with her after. Roxanne said that she's the best woman around the world. Better than anybody in NXT, WWE, including two new NXT women that could be coming soon. She said that she's
3.
better than two that she
I
did
know
mention.
I know she didn't
She mentioned that she's better than Julia and Stephanie. How do you pronounce her name?
Vacour. Stephanie Vacour.
And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, oh boy. What's the old saying that Jerry the King Lawler always says?
Keep your words soft. Keep your words soft and sweet because you may have to eat them.
Yeah, so Roxanne, you may have to eat those words later on because I'm sure those Julia and Stephanie must have probably heard that, and they're gonna probably want a piece of your ass. And I think I'm gonna go on the record of saying this. I think one of those two is gonna dethrone Roxanne Perez. I just don't know which one it is.
Because the thing is, Julia is right now. She is finishing her commitments to Marigold. She is on her way, but she still has some time to go. And as far as Stephanie goes, she still has to work out some commitments through Mexico. So she still is working in Mexico. She's got some stuff that she needs to do first before she gets done. So I don't think it's gonna happen right away though. I know with Julia, I think she's still under. I think she's not done until possibly the end of the summer. So possibly by mid-September she might be able to show up. And then as far as Stephanie goes, what I'm hearing is she might not be ready until at least October, November. So, I mean, right now, Roxanne probably is holding this belt for maybe 2 more months, at least.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just giving this warning to Roxanne now, because I'm sure they're probably going to see this video and they're probably like, really? You think you're the best woman around the world? Face one of us and we'll see if you can back up those words. So I'm going to give this about maybe 3.25, 3.5 for this match, but great effort by Thea Hale. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, obviously it is a 3.5 star match. This was an excellent main event. This was exactly what it needed to be. Thea Hale has nothing to be ashamed of. Her performance in this match was amazing. You could even make an argument that this was her greatest performance yet in NXT. I mean, this was absolutely a barn burner of a match. The fans were into it. They were rooting for Thea. There was a moment there where we thought that maybe she wins the championship. There was a couple of hope spots. She got that Kimura lock deep on Roxanne, and we were thinking, "Oh my God, could this be the moment where she might get a tap out victory to win the title?" And Roxanne was able to get herself out of that trouble, got her into a crossface. Looked like Thea was going for the ropes, and then she was able to reverse out of it, got into pop rocks, and that was it. It was game over. Much disappointment to the crowd because the crowd was rooting for Thea. They were rooting for the underdog here, but I think the outcome was never in doubt. As much as I know you love Thea, and we love Thea Hale, but I just feel like right now Roxanne Perez deserves the moment, deserves the victory. She's just, I gotta say it. She is in a class all by herself right now in NXT until Stephanie shows up, until Julia shows up, until Delta, who's also the third person of that new crop of talent that's coming from overseas. She's coming from Australia over to NXT. And if anybody's seen Delta, oh my God, she is just as dangerous, just as amazing as Julia or Stephanie Valcour. Roxanne Perez is going to have 3 women ready, willing, and able that could take that title away from her. I'm telling you, when these 3 show up, it's going to be a game changer in the NXT women's division. Like, that's how good these 3 women are. Just them alone are main event caliber. And now all 3 of them are coming to NXT, and it is going to get crazy good when all these 3 women show up very soon. Roxanne Perez, you want talent, you want competition, you're going to find it with these 3 very soon. Anthony, it is yours.
Fight of the night for me. Roxanne Perez and Thea Hale battled with pure ferocity. The Prodigy brought out the absolute best from Thea Hale, who has never looked better. The crowd was all in on this action, and Thea Hale rode that excitement to multiple near falls. Even if the action never quite sold the upset, the Chase U Spitfire leveled up, no pun intended, leveled up in this match. NXT must give Thea Hale gold sooner than later, as she is ready, and the NXT fans are more than ready to see it. Roxanne Perez will move on to her next challenger, likely awaiting a soon-to-debut Julia, who is officially finishing up her dates in Japan on August 19th. And Perez called Hale just a little girl. This set off Chase U Spitfire, who ran over the Prodigy. Perez ducked a springboard senton, then locked in the crossface, forcing Hale to roll outside to safety. Hale nearly got the win off a diving crossbody into a Michinoku driver. A furious back-and-forth battle of submission between the crossface and Kimura ended with a Hale springboard senton for a near fall. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This was my fight of the night. Although you could easily make an argument for the 6-woman match, but I felt this was just a smidgen better, if I'm going to be honest with you. So, but those last 2 matches, whoa, go out of your way to see them. If you're pressed for time, if you didn't get a chance to watch this, if you have it on DVR or Hulu or whatever, go out of your way to see these last 2 matches because they will be worth your time. Trust me when I tell you. 3.5, 3 3/4. Bullet started this, right?
Yeah, so we go right into
overall
review. Very good at Great American Bash. Good start. Week 1, good. I enjoyed it. Go out of your way to watch the final 2 matches. Go out of your way to watch the concert. I thought they did a really good job with it. There wasn't really anything bad except for that one match with Jada Parker. I thought that was kind of not so great, but other than that, I thought this was a very solid show. I mean, we criticize NXT half the time for their quality. We say it's always back to earth and whatnot, but whenever they do these premium events, whenever they do these special type events like Halloween Havoc, like Great American Bash, they nailed these. And this was a nail. They nailed it right out of the park. You know what? We're in the Olympic season. I could say it. This was a gold medal performance for NXT. Well done, guys. I'll give this a solid 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Agree with the rating, abso-freaking-lutely here. That was exactly the rating I had before you even gave it. But here's the analysis. NXT has struggled at times to elevate its TV specials to the same level as premium live events. Week 1 of Great American Bash did not struggle. This was a strong night, elevated by the work of the central talent. Every feature match delivered solid action and good booking. Roxanne Perez versus Thea Hale was at another level, good enough to have main evented a PLE. It was the ultimate reminder of how talented Thea Hale is and the serious potential she has fostered. The surprise of the night, no doubt about it, the 6-woman tag, Fallon Henley, JC Jane, and Jasmine Nix versus Lola Vice, Sol Ruca, and Carmen Petrovic, once again showcasing the depth of talent in the NXT women's division. While not everything landed, this home stretch was special. Joe Henry got his first concert. Metaphor got a solid spotlight in and out of the ring. Tony D'Angelo showed why he is ready to graduate from NXT. It was a successful show that will be tough for week 2 to follow. but the week 2 card is just as stacked. You got Ethan Page and Oro Mensah for the NXT Championship. We have a tag team title match that can seriously be considered a possible match of the year candidate. It's got match of the year candidate potential. Nathan Frazier and Axiom against MSK. There's your show stealer right there. That's going to steal the damn show. I'm telling you, next week. And so much more, but those are the 2 big ones right there. And, Trick Williams going up against Pete Dunne. There's another potential banger right there. And Kalani Jordan will be defending the Women's North American Championship against Tatum Paxley. And of course, Bullock's going to be looking forward to this. The Battle of the Joes. Joe versus Joe. Hendry versus Coffee. Sounds like a damn good show next week. Week 1 set the bar. Let's see what week 2 can do. So 7.5 to 8. 100% agree with MF's rating. Michael Bullock, Mr. NXT, take a bow, my friend. Week 1 was great. You set the bar for and now you set the bar for week 2. Week 2 is gonna be like, oh boy, how are we gonna follow this?
Yeah, can't wait to see what next week is gonna bring. So, especially with all those matches. So 7.5 to 8. I do agree. This was definitely a good show. I mean, only one bad match, but other than that, everything else was solid to really good. So, there's really nothing more to say. Let's get into this week's edition of AEW Dynamite.
All right, and with that said, we do indeed get into AEW Dynamite. We had a 2-for-1 special promo segment with MJF, interrupted by Will Ospreay, but it led us into the first fight of the night. Will Ospreay against Lance Archer, and Will Ospreay winning the match in 11 minutes and 20 seconds. Solid opener, good match to say the very least. And this was like we said, a solid fight. Obviously, you want to give Will Ospreay the momentum because he wants to try to win the international title back. He does face off with MJF at Wembley Stadium in London for the now called the American Championship. It's not the International Championship. It's the American Championship for now. We'll see if Ospreay does get the belt back. But at the end of the day, Will Ospreay successfully wins it, and it was a solid match. I could say about 3 stars. So Anthony Florio, Ospreay takes down Lance Archer, but MJF definitely is lurking, and he got a measure of I don't want to say measure of revenge, but he did get a leg up on him by attacking him after the match was over.
Oh, indeed he did. And these two have fought several times in singles and tag matches before this, so they used that established chemistry to put on an energetic and exciting performance. Will Ospreay truly felt like an underdog against a dominant powerhouse. It seemed like anything he tried, Archer saw it coming and had an answer for it. Recent booking for both men made the result predictable, but they did as well as anybody could, making it feel like Archer might have a chance. And then after the match was over, Kyle Fletcher comes out and saves Will Ospreay. Don Callis showed up, and Kyle Fletcher yelled at him about being best friends with Will Ospreay and how he won't stand by and let him get taken out. He delivered a passionate promo directed at MJF and said America has given him all of his dreams, so he will not let MJF represent the country. That was a fantastic promo, and it helped set up MJF versus Kyle Fletcher for next week's Dynamite. So, yeah, solid 3 1/4, teetering on 3 1/2. So, Michael Bullock, outcome never in doubt, but hey, good match. But like I said, no surprise about the outcome. And then Kyle Fletcher coming to his aid, and Fletcher and MJF next week.
Yeah, 3 1/4, 3 1/2, solid opener, like you said. I mean, then like you said, MJF tried to jump Will Ospreay after, but Kyle Fletcher, I mean, came to the rescue and basically put a stop to MJF, what he was doing, and Don Callis, and Kyle Fletcher delivered a passionate promo, basically was saying, look, Don, I know we said we wouldn't be in Will Ospreay's business, but he is my best friend. He's my brother. I don't know about you. I mean, if Don Callis is probably not taking that lightly. I wonder if Don Callis is about to double cross him.
Or is Fletcher gonna double cross Ospreay?
Very possible. Very possible.
Because something like that,
especially when you got that when you got that Weasel and Don Callis.
Yeah, I
now that I think of it,
he might be in the, because think about it. United Empire was that's a group from New Japan. Like that's that's New Japan's crew, and everybody knows how powerful and how strong United Empire was. The thing is, Will Ospreay went off on his own. Is it possible that Kyle Fletcher may harbor some ill will? You broke up a great thing. You broke up this force, and now I'm going to break you? Possible.
It's very possible.
Something tells, just like how Anthony Florio has always said, I smell a rat. I smell a rat.
Or something stinks and I don't like it.
Yeah. And
with Don Callis around, I don't trust that SOB.
Yeah. I'm bet you anything he's in that ear. Well, I don't know if he is or not, but something tells me Ospreay's about to get betrayed.
Yeah, he's about to get shafted big time. And all because of that little prick, Don Callis.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be Callis, but I mean,
well, he's going to play a part in it.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Just telling you how I feel about him.
Oh. All right. You good, Bullock? Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, let's move on. Next match, it was Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale. And Chris Statlander winning the match in 10 minutes. This is very important because now Chris Statlander has earned a CMLL Women's Championship match down the line, but it doesn't come with controversy. Stokely Hathaway does create the interference, and Chris Statlander used a chain to basically knock out Willow Nightingale with the discus punch. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Solid match with some good physicality. It didn't quite live up to their last match, but a lot of that is due to time constraints and a commercial break interrupting it. I'll give it a solid 3 stars for the effort. 3 stars. I was going to give it 3 1/4, but I'm bumping it down to 3 because of the Stokely Hathaway. But then again, I like the way you say it better, MF. Stokely Hathaway. I like that better. So I'm gonna give you that one. So the Stokely interference. That's why we're gonna bump it down to 3. But it was still a solid match. I would not be at all surprised if they add this to the All-In card. I wouldn't. We'll have to wait and see if it's on the main card or if they relegate it to the 0 hour show or the pre-show or whatever you want to call it. So, no doubt about that. So, Stat gets her title shot. Like I said, All In coming up. I think that's when we're going to get it. So, we'll see what happens. So, solid 3 from me. Bullock, 3. I was going to give it 3 1/4, but I'm bumping it down to 3 because of the Stokely interference. And, but nonetheless, Statlander, Willow, down the line for that CMLL women's title. I'm saying All In. What says you?
I say All In as well. I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, this was a 3-star match, but it's down. I was going to give it 3 1/4 because of the Stokely Hathaway interference, and especially with the use of the chain. Yeah, and then afterwards, I mean, Chris Statlander went to town and used a steel chair on Willow Nightingale, and then she attacked the security. I'm like, what in the world is this girl thinking?
Yeah, that's gonna cost her a few bucks.
Answer this question. Does she care more about winning that CMLL Women's World title or beating the you-know-what out of Willow Nightingale, her former best friend?
Oh, beat the hell out of her.
Yeah, no, she wants to end her career. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think she can give two craps about that belt. She just wants to end her career.
She wants to make sure that there ain't gonna be no more unicorns or sunshine for Willow. It's all about pain and misery and destruction. That's what Chris Statlander is all about now. And guess what, boys? I like it. I like this out of Chris Statlander. She is so good as a heel. She is so good as a heel. I gotta admit it, man. I think this heel turn has done wonders for her. I like it. I like that aggressive side of her.
Exactly. So, 3 stars for me. It's yours, Fletch.
All right. Next up, we 3 stars. Yes. Obviously, I wasn't happy about the interference. I wish it could have been more cleaner. I get it. But I do believe that once the title's on the line, I do believe Willow will successfully defend the belt. And I think at that point, that's going to be the end of the storyline. I hope. We'll see. Next up, 6-man tag team fight. Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Tomohiro Ishii going up against the Beast Matos, Roderick Strong, and Rush. And it was the heel squad. Rush, Roderick Strong, and the Beast winning the match in 11 minutes and 40 seconds. Anthony Michael Bullock, it is all yours.
I'll give this about 3 1/4 for this match here. I mean, yeah, the heel team with the win here. So, so there's really nothing more for me to add. It's yours, Fletch.
Not only was it a big win for the heel team, but the Beast pinned Briscoe. You know what that means? Championship committee moment. That means the Beast now gets the shot at the Ring of Honor World Championship. I'm assuming it's going to be sometime down the line, maybe on Honor Club or on one of their local events, because there is no pay-per-view for any, at least anytime soon, from what I know. But at the end of the day, it was a hell of a match. Another 3-star bout. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
What was that time again, MF?
11:40.
11:40. All right. That's about 3 1/4, teetering on 3 1/2. This was on the more chaotic side for a trios match, even by AEW standards. Nobody really seemed to care about tags or who was legal, so it was difficult to tell who could be pinned at certain points in the bout. We saw some fun spots and sequences, but there wasn't much to this other than the mayhem, which can still be fun if you're into that sort of match. And in a very surprising outcome, Mortos pinned Mark Briscoe to win for his team. And yes, championship committee moment. He has most definitely earned himself a future shot at Mark Briscoe in that Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship down the road. And speaking of Mortos, he is an interesting talent, and I think AEW should give him a little promo time at some point. And Rush and Tomohiro Ishii, they had a fun exchange during this match. So 3 1/4 to 3 1/2 for me. So Michael Bullock, how about it? Mortos scoring the pin on the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Mark Briscoe.
I actually led off on it.
Oh, Bullock led off.
Yeah, I was about to say something.
Okay.
I wanted. Yep, you're good.
Let's move on.
Next up, we had was Anthony. You got your wish. Camille making her debut in AEW in-ring debut. She went up against Brittany Jade and won the match in 1 minute and 15 seconds. There's really not much for us to talk about here. Basically, Camille went brick house. If you know, you know. Dud, worst fight of the night. Not but like this is an absolute throwaway fight. There's no doubt in my mind. We don't really need to talk about it. We'll move on. Main event match. It was Darby Allin going one-on-one with Hangman Adam Page, and it was Darby Allin winning the match. 17 minutes, 45 seconds, fight of the night. 3 3/4 to 4 stars for me. Great matchup, great back and forth. You had a holy crap moment during the match where the fans were really eating it up. It was a good battle, but the right man won at the end. Good way to close a very solid AEW Dynamite. Anthony Florio, 17:45, and it was Darby Allin taking down the Hangman.
4.25, teetering on 4.5 for me. This was the fight of the night. This was a violent match that managed to avoid using any blood for shock value. All of the violence was based on the things they did to each other, not how they looked. The ending was great because it gives Hangman a reason to stay angry. And Hangman did a great job catching Darby during that coffin drop. At this point, AEW may need to tell Allin to start doing certain things. The way he hit the steps was reckless, and there is no way to do that safely. The spot with Hangman countering Darby's attempt at a buckshot lariat with a clothesline was awesome. And Darby Allin is this generation's Jeff Hardy. There is no doubt about it. Heck, I think he may be even more insane than Jeff Hardy was. I mean, that insane bump with that glass table. We all remember that. So, I mean, I don't know what else there is to tell you. But all kidding aside, when it comes to Darby Allin, let's not forget, last Friday night on Rampage, he won that Royal Rampage match. And by doing so, he earned himself an opportunity at the AEW World Heavyweight Championship at the Grand Slam at Arthur Ashe Stadium in 2 months on September 25th. And what better way to get to slowly build him and prepare him for that match than by putting him against a former AEW World Heavyweight Champion in Hangman Adam Page.
He's going to have to await the winner of between Swerve Strickland and Bryan Danielson, and we'll see who comes out of that in London. Yeah.
Oh, and you better believe when we get to the overall review, I'm going to have something to say about that.
All right. Will do.
Yeah. So, and I know Bullock will too, because we had a little text chat earlier about it. So,
okay. Yeah.
But anyways, fight of the night for me, 4.25, teetering on 4.5. Excellent match. Right guy won. Because like I said, Darby won that Royal Rampage. He's going to be challenging for the World Heavyweight Championship at the Grand Slam at Arthur Ashe Stadium, September 25th, against either Swerve or Bryan. So, yeah, not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, fight of the night for me, and no better way to get Darby ready for that world title match 2 months from now than putting him in a match against a former World Heavyweight Champion in the Hangman Adam Page and winning it. What a match.
Yeah, what a match that was. 4.25 stars. I mean, fight of the night, hands down. I mean, yeah, you can call Darby Allin crazy, but hey, if these moves work to his advantage, hey, who's going to argue with it? So, yes, there's really nothing more to say. Let's get into our overall thoughts on this edition of Dynamite.
And it starts off with Anthony Florio. Florio, it's yours.
All right. Tonight's Dynamite saw several different storylines addressed, some solid in-ring action, and a few segments to set up matches for next week. Bryan Danielson's promo and vow to retire if he loses at All In may have somewhat telegraphed the outcome of the AEW title bout, but it was a great segment because it was emotional in a different way than his WWE retirement speech, February of 16. The women's division has been on fire lately. The feud between Willow Nightingale, and Chris Statlander is still going strong. Mariah May and Toni Storm continue to be major attractions. And Camille coming in as Mercedes Monet's muscle adds another talented worker to the roster. Will Ospreay and Lance Archer had the best performance, but Allen and Page came close to match. Well, actually, no. Allen and Page had the best performance. Ospreay and Archer came close to matching them. Both bouts saw the babyfaces take a lot of damage and gave the crowd plenty of reasons to cheer. The glitch with the lights going out during the main event added a bit of humor to the match, but probably not in the way AEW would usually want. But I would say this was around the 7.5, another 7.5, teetering on 8, but I'm thinking more 7.5. And that promo segment by Bryan Danielson, wow, that was unbelievable. That was very well done. I mean, that was one of the best he's had probably since the retirement speech in Seattle, that Monday Night Raw, February of 2016. The Grateful promo, as we all know. And now, hold on, Bullet. But for right now,
just him doing that, it just reminded me of that retirement speech from.
Same here.
Grateful. I mean, it kind of it made me feel like I was reliving it all over again.
Absolutely. And I told Bullock this during our text message chat. I told him this. I was already excited for that match, but adding this stipulation, my excitement level for this match just went up tenfold. And
remember when
I believe that, I mean, you got some good matches on this card, but if I'm going to be honest with you, I think this is the one that's going to steal the damn show right here. I really do.
And I was going to say, Bryan's contract, believe it or not,
he even said it in the promo. It's up tomorrow.
Yeah, it expires at midnight tonight.
20 minutes from now.
Yeah, in about 19 minutes, his contract with AEW is expiring.
So he's going to be working this match without an AEW contract.
And next week, too, because he's got a match with Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
Danielson and Jarrett next week. Oh.
So I mean, that's the commitment he has. He's going to be working these next few matches without signing a new AEW contract. The question is, does he walk away with the AEW title? Because that's the only way he kind of gets to stay in the company. Because if
I'll be honest with you. Let me be honest with you when it comes to this match. I know we've got, a good 25, 24 days to think about it, but I'll be honest with you. Don't get me wrong. I love Swerve. Swerve is amazing. He deserves to be where he is right now. I love Nana. I love the dance. You know that. But
same here.
We all do. But as much as I love, respect, and appreciate Swerve and his body of work and AEW putting the title on him, well deserved. I mean, he's got the honor that no one can ever take away from him, being the first African American World Heavyweight Champion. And we were all happy for him. We were all over the moon for him when he won that title back at the Dynasty in April when he beat Joe. Love you, Swerve. We all do. But with all due respect, if I'm going to be honest, be the man who tells it like it is, my heart is pulling for Bryan Danielson to win the title. I really want to see him get one more title run. Give him at least one more title run, and then he can go off into the sunset and go back home to Bree, Birdie, and Buddy, and you heard what he said. He made a promise to little Birdie that when Birdie turned 7 years old, that he was going to stop wrestling full time. So I would love to see him get one more title run. And I haven't been this emotionally invested in Bryan Danielson since WrestleMania 30.
Yeah.
So,
I agree.
And damn it, hell, I am pulling for him. But if Swerve were to go over, I would not be mad at it. Like I said, Swerve deserves to be where he's at, and he's very fun to watch. And I have all the love and respect and appreciation for him and his body of work. Same for Nana and the dance. But
I kind of wonder. I mean, okay, level with me here.
Yeah.
Bryan wins the title. You get that moment.
I would love
Maybe
that.
you let him lose the belt at Grand Slam. Give it to
Darby.
Darby right then and there.
I would not mind that at all.
I
I would
mean,
not mind that at all.
you'll have at least a couple months where Danielson would be the world champion.
1 month. 1 month.
But also, I'm wondering right around that time, where is the birdie when her birthday is and everything else? Because I'm trying to think in my mind, isn't that right around that same time where she does turn 7? Because if it does, I think the writing is on the wall.
May 9th. Actually, she already is 7.
So this is it.
May 9th of 17. She turned 7 on May 9th.
So this is it.
This is it.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So
I love that scenario, MF.
I think this is it. I think this is the layout. I think Danielson wins the title at All In, drops the belt in New York, and it's done.
And give and then let Darby carry the company. And he's more than ready. He is definitely capable and ready. Especially after what he did tonight, beating a former champion in Hangman.
So I think the writing's on the wall here, boys. Something tells me the writing's on the wall. I think we might have just figured out AEW. I think we might have just figured out what's happening next with them.
Let's hope so.
If because remember, we've gotten a few of these things right in the last few months. We called the Cody Rhodes title win.
Yep.
Who else? I know I got one made. I ended up hitting one big not too long ago.
You did? Yeah. We've had our moments where we've, gone on the record and said, I believe we had that one, or I had that one. I've had my fair share. MF's had his fair share. Bullock's had his fair share. So
I think we might be sitting on something here, boys. I honestly think
an emotional gold mine.
Yeah, I think
we're here for all of it. Yeah. I know I am. So
it all depends on what happens in London, man. Because if Swerve wins it and that blows everything up out of the water, all right, fine, we'll live with it. But I kind of feel like this would be better. This is a better setup.
I agree. Swerve had his moment. Swerve had a nice little run with it. But I say let Bryan give him that one last title run, even if it's only for a month. That's fine. Let him have it for at least a month, and then strap Darby at Grand Slam. So perfect layout. I would not mind seeing that at all. I wouldn't. So I would love to see that happen, but we'll see what happens. So solid 7.5, teetering on 8 from me. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts on tonight's show and everything else?
Yeah, 7.5 to 8 for me. I mean, you had that one bad match with Camille's debut. I mean, but that fight of the night with Hangman Adam Page and Darby Allin was really good. But man, that promo from Bryan Danielson, like I said, it brought me back to like his retirement speech. But this is more here because, I mean, we all thought like this was his last chance as a full-time wrestler. No, this is his last chance in general because he stated if he doesn't win the title, he is done. He is retiring. So he's raising the stakes for this title match. And there are a lot of other good matches I'm going to be interested in, but this AEW World Title match is the one I'm going to be more interested in. And man, I mean, a lot at stake here, and also I thought it was a good interview segment that Renee did with Mariah May, and I'll tell you this, guys, we're seeing a different side of Mariah May that we didn't know that she had. I mean, she did it when she attacked Tony Storm, but it seemed like she was refusing to answer any questions about Tony Storm. And man, I mean, it really adds intrigue to this women's title match. So really, got nothing more to say. A good show, but I think the Brian Danielson promo is the one everybody's talking about, and the stipulation that he added. And I agree with everything you guys said. I think he wins the world title at All In, and I think he's going to drop it to Darby Allin because, like you said, I think it is Darby Allin's time. So nothing more to say. Let's put a ball on this, Fletch.
Yeah, and I'm gonna end it by saying that I totally agree with everything you guys have said. I think I think we figured. Like I said, I think it was a 7.5 to 8. I thought it was a very good show. I think they did a brilliant job with it. And yes, there's really nothing more to add. So we're done. We're out of here. So thank you guys for watching this. On Friday night, we are back for another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk, but this one is special because we will have the SmackDown, the show before SummerSlam, and then the preview of the hottest night of the summer, SummerSlam. We'll be doing it. We'll give you our official predictions, who we think are going to win, who's walking out champions, and it's going to be a loaded show. 10:30 as always on Brace Fan 95. Until then, for Anthony Floyo, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher. So long, everybody, and we'll see you all on Friday.